Alright. How's everyone doing? I'm finally live streaming. I told you guys I'd be doing this, so yeah, this is a information gathering live stream. Uh, by myself this time, so this is gonna be great, isn't it? Alright, to give you some backstory about this person, from what I've been able to gather, Ernest Tomlinson is basically an undertale LARPer who's, let's be honest, probably schizophrenic as shit. Especially because of the way he's acted over the past while. You'll see what I mean more later when we talk about this. This dude is fucking crazy. Uh, it's gonna be a long one, so we better crack open a fucking monster and get ready with this shit. All right, so well, damn. It's I think it's going. I gotta check. Yeah, I think it is. Yeah. All right, so I'm just checking everything on my end, see if anybody's gonna show up in a few minutes. We've already been waiting here for a minute or two, so yeah. Apologize about the small delay on the stream. Gotta be fucking kidding. Okay, let's why don't we just start off, shall we? Should we start off with looking at the KiwiFarms page? Because I want to wait for some people to come in before we start talking about his artwork he made back in 2017. All right. Hello, young laugh. Hello. I was shit. Hey, Wobby. Evening service is over, and I'm here. What a great night for me. Yep, that is a great night. Praise Jesus. Yeah, what's up, bro? What's up with everyone? You're a little cracky in the mic, plushies. You on the mic, right? I'm on the. I'm pretty sure I am on the right mic. It's my. Let me check real quick, cause. All right, let's see if that fixes it. Is this any better? We'll figure that out if it is or isn't. But yeah, I know I said this earlier in the live stream, but give people catch up on the speed if they didn't even bother to tune in until right now. Yes, hi Wobby, I said it was you. I can tell by the autistic profile picture. But yeah, my voice is shaky. It's because oh my god, my dog keeps fucking barking. It's my first time doing a live stream by myself, so I was on the wrong mic the whole time. Holy shit. Okay. KiwiFarms moment. Yes. But yes, as I said in the channel description, I read KiwiFarms and just summarize it for you guys. So let's begin with this, shall we? Let's begin with this. Ah shit. Content warning selfie. Brisk. Behold our brainy radiant form. This is peak male. This is peak male form right there. That's what men have to strive to look like. If you didn't know, that is true. This is peak male performance. Those people like fucking Hulk Hogan or whatever the fuck, like wrestlers and shit, that's not peak human. This is peak human right here. with the long hair, the weird ass fucking glasses, with the Seattle sweatshirt. So, peak hill athlete right there. Wow, people are actually joining. Holy shit. Okay, so Ernest Thompson is I'm gonna summarize it in one word for you guys. Schizophrenic. I genuinely believe that Thompson is schizophrenic. Looks on. Yeah, I believe Thomas Tomlinson, Ernest Tomlinson. That's a weird ass fucking name. I know it's probably right because this dude's born in fucking 1973. I don't know if names like that were common back then, but apparently might be, might not be. This is the first time I ever saw someone named Ernest. Being Ernest right here. I've never heard of the name Ernest. So, oh my fucking god, my dog. Oh my god, my dog keeps fucking barking. Why? Ernest Thomason is a 51-year-old fat, unemployed, gay, communist furry who sits in a fucking Seattle house with other furry slash blue sky, not furry blue sky communists. He claims to have DID, which, if you know anything about the internet, is 99.99% true that he's fucking faking it. And totally not faking it whatsoever. He's totally really DID and not some other mental illness, even if there is one. He's like those he's like the he's like the fucking TikTokers who pretend to have DID and claim to have personalities that are like fucking, I don't know, the fucking Lorax or some shit. Yeah, that's a nice call to Birdie right there. But anyways, uh, not saying that Birdie is self-diagnosis. I guarantee it is a self-diagnosis right there. That is a complete self-diagnosis. So, the Ernest unironically believes that his fucking multiple system or whatever the fuck he wants to call it has Undertale characters in it, and he fucking turns them trans as well. So that's fun, isn't it? So yeah, I know I said this in the description, but this dude right here has a master's degree in chemistry, and this is what he's doing with his life. I guarantee you that I guarantee you that whatever you're doing with your life right now is probably better than what he is doing right now. He's probably sitting in his Seattle home looking at fucking I don't know what the fuck he looks at. Let's be honest. Knowing fucking Undertale fans that like pretend to be Undertale characters, it's or just looking at the fan base in general, you could see that it's fucking insane. If I was playing Crazy Person Big No, I have multiple lines right now. Yes, you would. And we just began the fucking live stream. We just began talking about it. So, a reason why because if this was some like random dude that was locals what fucking KiwiFarms was talking about, I wouldn't really be here discussing it. I'd probably look at it for a few minutes, be like, oh, I might make this when I'm really fucking bored. But no, there's a reason why I'm doing this, and that's because this is one of Louis Giardi's fucking supporters, to say the least. Like, how do I put it in right words? Yes, I know. Basically, he is like, I think of him as like you know how like that those cartoons have like groups of bullies, right? And there's like three of them. He's the retarded one out of the whole group. Where Louis Giardi's the main one, he's like the retarded one of the whole group. So that should explain everything. But yeah, this frisk right here we're gonna bring up later because I actually have a theory about this one, and it's probably gonna be mean or hurtful, but I gotta point it out. So yeah, he was 51 at the time of writing this. I don't remember his exact date of birth. We might see that later, but he is 51, 52 this year, and that's gonna come up important later. If it was Ed and Eddie, he'd be Plank. He would be, yes. He's also connected to Will Stansel. I I'm gonna get into him later. Right now, just so you know that he's also another communist leftist retard who unironically believes that communism works. So that should tell you what kind of people Ernest surrounds himself with. And to be and fucking obviously, I can't believe KiwiFarms has to point this out. When they say Undertale LARPer, they don't mean that he actually calls himself one. He just is one. That doesn't mean he calls himself one, because that'd be too. It would give him more credit. It would not credit. It would give him some sort of like common sense, to say the least. Not fuck. I apologize. What it means is that he would have been self-aware. If he called himself an Undertale LARPer, he would be self-aware. That's what I'm trying to say. Sorry that took me a minute. I'm just fucking retarded. So I can't believe that I have to explain this, but if you've been on the internet, you know what DID is. Let's look up what DID is. Google will tell you because I don't give a shit. I don't care if this is true or not, but according to Google's AI, dissociative identity disorder, DID, formerly known as multiple personality disorder, is a complex mental health condition characterized by the presence of two or more distinct personality states that alternate controls that fuck that alternatively controls a person's behavior. It is usually caused by severe chronic childhood trauma. And yeah, they talk about alters. There's no fucking treatment for it. Uh, Contrary to media portrayals, people with DID are generally not violent or dangerous. Sure, buddy. That's I'm pretty sure they had to say that because the movie Split exists. Which, if you haven't seen Split, that's a pretty good film. I liked it. So let's go over his personalities. Um, yeah. Chara Tomlinson. This is Ernest himself, physically. He's a quote unquote woman. Yeah, he's totally a woman, guys. And he took his name from an Undertale character, of course. So guys, make sure you know that he's a quote unquote woman, and now you have to use she, her pronouns because he said himself he's a woman. So this isn't peak masculinity, this is peak femininity. This is what both men and women need to strive for physically. Here. You can see a little bit of a stubble growing. Yeah, I just wanted to point that out to be a complete asshole. And because it's funny. Alright. Mono the unicorn, because I'm not giving him the full fucking hip female athlete. Yes. 100% true. Ah, shit. Peak. It is peak, bro. Like this, that is what every man dreams of when they think of the perfect woman, right there. Okay, Mono the Unicorn. This is Ernest's persona, and also is a alter. Ah, yes. We have another kitty dog situation where all of the fucking this is a kitty dog situation, as I like to call it, where that their persona is a alter. And if you remember my let me convince about what let me compete against women bigot. It's my whole beard. Very funny, Wally. Very good. So, Mono the Unicorn is Ernest's persona and is also a quote unquote alter. AKA, where Kitty Dog basically had the same thing, but all of her quote unquote alters were just fucking personas. If you've seen my Kitty Dog video even once, you'll know what I'm talking about because I fucking mentioned it like a good amount of times in that video. I actually dedicated a whole segment of her fucking fuck of her fucking sonas. Oh my god. Chris Dreamer, Undertale character. This is Ernest's host, which is different to Chara. Princess Azrael Dreamer. So those who are unaware, because I had to look this up myself because I haven't played Undertale in a while. Azrael Dreamer is actually a child, is a male child. I swear to furry alter shit is a psyop. They're pushing the government to pay for fursuits because they're expensive for the majority. Oh my god. That that is probably what's happening, Wally. That's probably what's happening. That's definitely what's happening right now. I'm telling you right now. That is what's happening as we speak. Okay. Okay, so Princess Azrael Dreamer, as I mentioned earlier, I keep fucking repeating this because I need this in your fucking skull. I'm not joking, I think it's a thing. Yes, I understand. It is a thing. Okay. Okay, there we go. Alright, so it looks like I got 2 viewers right now. Alright. Anyway, yeah. It is probably what's happening, let's be honest. Um, Kara Dreamer is another. Oh my god. Okay. Israel Dreamer, in fucking Ernest's headcanon, is a trans woman who shares a quote unquote soul with Kara, but is married to Chara. Um, so we'll go through each of these real quick at the end. Kara Dreamer or Chara Dreamer, I don't fucking know. Ernest isn't exactly clear if this is the same fucking character or not. Probably is, let's be fucking honest. But KiwiFarms think Kara is the human form of Chara. A fucking llama or some shit, I don't fucking know. Worry about your stream, not me, bro. I'm just trying to keep the chat active for the algorithm. Yeah, that's why I'm interacting with you, is because I know, like, people would be watching and shit. Anyways, yeah, fucking, yeah, so just so you know, Chris, Azrael, and Chara are all children. They're all child characters from Undertale or Deltarune, one or the other. This one I believe is from Deltarune, and these two are from Undertale. Maybe this one also is from Deltarune, but I don't think the Princess Azrael Dreamer relates to the Undertale character one. Alright, next one. Toriel. Another fucking Undertale character. At least this one's an adult, okay? Finally an adult. Uh Alex Woodwald, the daughter of two a daughter of what is this? His So, as you're gonna notice, I'm gonna just shut up and I'm gonna fucking freeze after reading something really fucking retarded. Like, quote, his character and also the science officer of this system and is also a horse. Really? Frisk. This is Ernest's dead brother who threw himself off a bridge in '06. Now he makes him use they them pronouns and uses mx, whatever the fuck it's pronounced. So okay, I have two theories about this. All right, one of them is actually his dead brother, which is fucked up that he pretends to be his dead brother. That it probably might be fucking probably might have been a fucking traumatic incident. Let's be honest, because like learning that your fucking brother died, yeah, that's something. But the other thing that could be happening is that Frisk is the name of the fucking playing the name Frisk. If you put in Undertale, it's the fucking main character's name. So this is two things could have happened. One, he's role playing as his dead brother who jumped off a bridge in '06 and now uses they them pronouns and uses the MX fucking beginning, or he's pretending to be Frisk, the character from Undertale who fell off a mountain and whenever it fucking took place, who is a child by the way, and makes him use they them fucking pronouns and MX fucking instead of Mr. and Mrs. I don't fucking know. So that's my I think it's the second one personally. I haven't seen evidence of it or not. I don't know. That's just my head canon totally. But all right, let's continue this. Kill the dragon is a fucking I don't fucking know a dragon. Doesn't really give you that much on the KiwiFarms page right now. So they use they them pronouns. You have Pim the dragon, which is Kill's sister, and they use she her pronouns. I wonder if it actually is a quote unquote sister or a actual sister. For all I fucking know, this fucking Pim Dragon retard could be a trans woman knowing fucking Ernest. And then there's two fucking guesses, which is Guts from Berserk and JJ Hunsaker. I don't fucking know. I think those are fucking jokes. That's why I'm not really mentioning it. Yeah, it's pretty bad, man. So, so it turns out Ernest has always been a fucking degenerate weirdo, according to KiwiFarms. At least, well, KiwiFarms, if you don't know, just fucking catalogs everything. They aren't like this evil troll group who will hunt you down if you fucking post a cringe drawing. You actually have to do something before they like actually start documenting you. What do you think this post was updated in 2025 or at least made? I think it was made in 2025. That's the issue. Because if it said updated, it would have been on the if you go up here, it would, I believe it would say updated here. That's besides the point. Uh, so as I said, he has a master's degree in chemistry. I want to get that into your skull right now. This person, thing, has a chemistry degree. That should tell you how the wow, I sound American when I say that. American. This is what happens when you have the American fucking school system. This is just proof of the American school system just being the American school system. The Kiwi farm code burnt down my house. Aw, man, that sucks. Anyways, obviously joking. They're so evil. They took a screenshot. I'm probably gonna be on the list of Kiwi farm tubers after this. At least I fucking admit that I do it. I'm not some like fucking retards. It's like, oh, Kiwi farm's bad. Kiwi farm's evil. Like fucking Christ. Those people are actually really fucking retarded. Like ridiculously stupid. So back when Ernest actually had a job, he was working in academia, so that should tell you how great of a chemist he was. And when he was working outside of fucking academia, he was a g- general bio working for. Well, oh, he was working for General Biodiesel, turning used cooking oil into fuel. But after 8 months, he was fired for being unreliable. Ernest's explanation for the firing was that his boss was jealous of his ability and talent. Because, like, it can't be Ernest's fault for not being a good worker, can it? And apparently every other fucking, chemist company and shit didn't even want him either. Because after he lost that job, he set his employment as homemaker. I'm surprised they made it 8 months. Made it 8 months. I know, right? Someone at his level, which he probably wasn't at that time. He might have, let's be honest. You can't really fucking change shit. So, the Pnictogen System. Chara, Jake, and Angie is like a calamari ball of mishmash. Oh my god, I can't fucking read this. I'm so fucking retarded. I'm so fucking retarded that I can't read this. Let me open this up in a new tab so I can actually scroll in properly. Mishmash appropriations and cultural theft all glued together with the slime of decaying of evangelical Christianity. I used to work with a dude who hit some of these same vibes. Creeped me out. He was a foreman at the Seattle biodiesel factory where I worked for like a year until they sacked me for being too, quote, unreliable because of taking time off for my dad all the time. I'd catch him both. I catch him reading both the New Age woo stuff and the flashy political stuff. And second screenshot. Scroll this in. I never said a word to him about what I noticed, but enmity simmered between me and him. I think he regarded me as a threat to his job because I was much better at the lab stuff than I was much better at the lab stuff up to then had been that had been his territory. Maybe I should have said something to him. This is all Chara, by the way. Chara, however you fucking say that name. He was so sketchy too. He slept in his car when he wasn't at the factory. He was supposed to keep an overseer, but he was rarely on the factory floor, kept his own schedule. I think the bosses kept him around simply to deal with the actual workforce, us grunts. Trigger warning, death. I'm sorry, not trigger warning. Content warning, death. I keep fucking confusing the two. Something about him made me fear for my life. Just a little bit. Oh yeah, it's good to know that preaching about Jesus makes you fucking terrified. Great, that's good to know. So, praise Jesus. Let's see if that scares the Satanist off. No, it won't. It'd scare him off. Like, I looked at him and I knew I was looking at a man who would let me die if I slipped off a catwalk or something. Or would swing a wrench at my head if I got him angry enough. So yeah, what I think happened is it wasn't him getting like fucking unreliable. I think that was an excuse. I think what happened is, hello Ronnie. Anyways, what I think is that fucking Ernest was actively trying to I think he was actively trying to attack his fellow employees where sorry, I lost my train of thought. What I think has happened is that he created so much of a unpleasant work environment to where he would constantly like would just attack his coworkers for being Christian or not being the same. And so I think the unreliable reasoning was a bullshit way for him to get kicked out for not having the environment like not just safe, but like I think he was actively I don't know a net negative for the company from his behavior, from his actions and everything. And what cemented that for me was the was when he was talking about something about him made me fear for my life just a little bit. And when earlier they were talking about where the fuck is where is it? I swear we just fuck. Here it is. Jake and Ganley is a Tommy Katari. Oh my god, I can't fucking say that word. I don't even bother wanting to learn how to pronounce that. Mishmash appropriations and culture fest all glued together with a slimy with the slime of decaying evangelical Christianity, and then talking about the same person, he said something about him made me fear for my life just a little bit. And I like to point out that that coworker was actually sleeping in his car while working at the plant. And personally, I still need your. Yes, Ronnie, you need to give Wabi an autograph right now. Do it. Anyways, but yeah, it's like the dude would sleep in his car near to work so that he would, well, be able to fucking work. I believe that's some sort of dedication to work. And I don't think Ernest not just didn't show it, but was actively trying to backstab him. But yeah, after this, because people talk to each other in like the same field, being like, oh, let's say for example they're going to chemistry. They're like, oh, here is Ernest. He's been actively trying to backstab people. I'm not saying this is what happened. I'm just saying this is probably what could have happened. They would be like, oh, he was a backstabbing people, and he was purposely trying to make other people uncomfortable because he was uncomfortable. And so they talked to other employers, and the other employers talked to others, so on and so on, to where now, well, you know, sorry, I'm fucking tired right now. It's I've been up really late last night, so I'm pretty tired. But yeah, it's like the other bosses, like managers and owners of other places in the same field, probably talked to each other, told them about Ernest and his unreliability and how he thinks everybody's going to kill him, which I think that surmises why I think he might be a bit schizophrenic in the last fucking page, because no like body Christian or I mean, be more awake, finish with this part and grab a quick drink and stretch, get your blood going. Yeah, fair, probably should do that. Probably will, but um I'll do that later. AKA I'm not gonna do it right now, obviously. But yeah, it was to the point where nobody else in the area was going to hire him, so he became a quote unquote homemaker. And I think that's when he started becoming a communist as well. And so, yeah, after that, he surmised more and more into communism over and over. And if you don't know Plushies, which you probably do or don't, I don't fucking know, I don't like communism at all. Oh well, me saying I don't like communism drop people from watching. Damn. Okay. It's true. I don't like it. I don't care if you like it. Fuck you. So yes, it gets even better. So he lives as a homemaker in a polycule relationship. And here are the three people in it. You have Ernest right here. Yep, and two other fucking Twitter retards. All are guys, by the way. And I bet you I am. Oh my god, he looks like the fucking Troon Jack. Hold up, hold up, hold up. I gotta get a fucking image of this. Fucking fuck. Full screen. God damn it. Okay. Fuck. Alright, I fucked this up. Give me 1 second to fix it. God damn it. Shoy Jack Party, storyboard. Yeah, I know. Fucking, I'm trying to find one that looks like it. Holy shit. Why can't I find it? God fucking damn it. Where? Oh my god. Do I need to shorten the search even more now? God damn it. Oh my god. The only ones I see is the fucking burned. Fine, we'll just show that that's not a good image. There we go. Here we go. Alright, here you go. I'm sorry this took me a while to look. That's a lot of double chin. Yeah, it is, I think a triple chin. Got one, two. You got fucking, Troon Jack right here. And you got, fucking, off, fucking off-brand Chud. Oh my god. I don't... Okay, I gotta turn off the display capture real quick, cause I need to make sure this isn't fucking porn. No, it isn't. Okay, thank fuck. Come on, I don't want this fucking thing taken down or anything. Plus, also, nobody needs to see that shit, you know? I'm not Mark. So, talking about Daniel Tomlinson. Is that one of the fuckers here? Let's look. Okay, so I think the person on the left is Daniel Tomlinson. Thompson. Not Thomason. God fucking damn it. Daniel Thompson. He was a yes, I know, fucking Thomason. Thompson. Oh my god, so many fucking Tom names. Jesus Christ. They're pretty much he was a successful retro tech YouTuber. And Barry Williams does a deep dive into there, which we're not going to go into. So, fucking David is trying to keep this lizard alive. The CRD, the cathode ray dude, identity separate. because he had two fucking personalities online, Gravis the Lizard and Cafaldi Ray Dude. So before he stopped bothering and fucking flew the freak shit, including dropping his own piss and shit fetish. Of course, he had an After Dark Twitter account, blah blah blah. Jesus fucking Christ. So, yeah. Yeah, so this person right here on the far left, used to be respected, but isn't anymore, so that's fun. Ernest decided that Ernest was a writer for the fucking furry fandom at one point. But then, fucking. And of course, Ernest can't write to save his life. I mean, he can't hold a job for more than 9 months in the first place. Kind of my. And apparently he got fucking triggered on fucking Fur Affinity somehow. It moved to Wessel. And of course, Ernest's stuff didn't get popular. So of course, fucking Ernest freaked the fuck out. Obviously. Because that's the right thing to do in this situation, right? Freak out when you aren't popular at all to try to get more attention to yourself. I mean, any kind of attention is good attention, you know? But fucking seriously. This leads me want to bring you on to the thing that was the main part of this live stream that I was trying to promote, to show you guys my first reaction to the whole thing. And this is a literature written in 2017 by Ernest when he was 44 years old. This man was 44 when he wrote this literature piece called How Undertale Swapped My Gender, plus other things. This is real, by the way, and it's so fucking long. So that's why I decided to put it into a live stream and just start reacting to it. So, we're going to begin reading this. I pray to God that this shit doesn't even get more retarded and someone clips it. It points me out to be a fucking tranny. Because I said something here. So we'll begin it in 3, 2, 1. Fucking Christ. Why did I do this? Quote, so let me take you, readers, all 2 or 3 of you, back to early morning of 11th April 2016. I just finished Toby Fox's Undertale. I could not sleep for hours afterwards. I went to bed with my mind ablaze and lay awake. I didn't want the story to end. The kindly monsters of Undertale were now as alive in my head as if they were old friends. Friends I still wanted to get to know better and spend time with. Me doing this killed the views. God damn it. It doesn't matter. No game has ever done this before, and very few other entertainments had taken such a deep root in my head. Tolkien, back when I was a teenager, had done so. Later, Alec and Sigel from Flynn's Fellowens Night Runner series of fantasy books had made lasting impressions as well, but never characters from a game until now. But never characters from a game till now. Fucking Christ, I can't read. Jesus Christ. Never thought I had interest in fanfic except for one or two transient bursts of interest. I tend to regard fanfics as something that made the most sense when applied to mediocre entertainments that left good characters, or good ideas for characters, stranded in poor quality scripts. Back when the show was new, for example, I read some fanfics about the Stephen Moorcraft Sherlock, because I rather liked the portrayal of Sherlock and John Weil, desperately wanting them to inhabit better stories than Moorcraft could put them in. Fuck. Undertale did something different to me. Right then, that night, I started plotting my own stories. Oh my fucking god. I will tell this right now. As a kid, I liked Undertale, yeah. But recently, revisiting it for this video, it was eh. It was mid at best. I saw Deltarune come out and I was like, what the fuck is this? And I was like, I looked at it, I was like, this is fucking retarded. Anyways, quote, there followed an explosion of activity and creativity such as I've never known before or since, compared to the smaller but still significant outburst of creative energy that came with my decision to come out as a furry in 0405 2004-5. Should have read it properly. That too prompted a sudden urge to write stories, mostly semi autobiographical. Fuck. Semi autobiographical stories in which I cast myself as an unhappy unicorn boy named Alec Woodward, who was raised by human parents who didn't understand him. All terrible, precious stuff, and I've lost most of that writing, thankfully. Alec himself survived and transitioned with me, and is now Alec and much happier. Fuck. They're transing the cats, they're transing the dog, they're transing the pets of this retard's house. Fuck me. I don't know how many tears or even hundreds of thousands of words of Undertale fiction I wrote in the burst of creativity that came with finishing the game. Most of it is here on my old archive of our own pages. Let's see if that's even still up. We'll look into that in a minute. Not all stories reach endings, but I did finish a few that I'm proud of. Was particularly Crouching Toriel Hidden Cougar. Yeah, I don't think it has one, god damn it. During the writing of which I completely fell in love with Toriel, as I did not quite fall in love when playing the game itself. That should have been a big hint for me had I had I the wits to notice it. Um hey guys in chat, does this make any sort of fucking sense? And I don't know what kind of fucking cougar you're talking about. It's not opening. So we're gonna have to look that up. But I think it's the cougar we're all thinking of. Had I the wits to notice it. That's at least strange English, if not makes it even worse. But another vital thing happened during this time. Kel the Purple emerged. Not dragon, purple. Killed the purple. Fucking killed purple, bitch. Maybe 5 weeks after finishing Undertale, late one night, when I was talking via Telegram with my lenient second partner K, I had a vision. It's him trying to sound smart. Okay. I had a vision is the only way I can put it. I hesitated. I hesitate to call it a hallucination, partly because it was largely a tactile experience, and it was something I could dip into and pull out of. Not like experiencing else I had experienced at the time, although I've had a few similar experiences since. It was a complicated multi-part experience and felt very powerfully spiritual in that undefinable way. As if you, oh my god, if you just seen further into the distance that you've never had in your life. This old life journal post goes into some of the context surrounding this spiritual event, if readers are interested. Image failed to load, but whatever. In the vision, I perceived at first that I was an object passing. I was an object passing through space, surrounded by flow lines, as though I was a spherical, as if I was a sphere and a model of linear flow. What kind of fucking English is this, bro? You can't just type simple, understandable sentences at least? You have to sign all sciencey and fancy retardation? Jesus. This feeling of smooth motion through space gave way to a feeling of underlation? How the fuck do you say this? What the fuck am I doing? I just need to post it.
Undulation. Undulation.
Undulation. Okay, whatever. Undulation and swimming. And at last there was a strong sensation of flight. In this last stage of the experience, I felt as though I was a hue, with vast wings slowly flapping. My body felt different too, and I had trouble handling my phone, as if trying to scrabble at it with awkward wing limbs. I chose to regard the experience as something that Kay had described to me once, a dragonkin awakening. I know this is gonna sound really fucking weird and nobody's gonna get this, but I remember playing this game called uh, we shortened it to Edith Finch. A really great game. I loved it. Royal Remains of Edith Finch is the full name. And second to last play experience you have was the brother of the main character, who was a complete I would basically say schizo meltdownish thing, where it was like, hey, oh wow, it bored everybody. Holy shit. Whatever. So what happened is that her brother slowly got more and more mentally fucked because everybody else in the family had grand visions and was able to do so much. And the brother was just wasn't able to do things. And so the brother started getting into his own mind, started pretending to have like a whole everything. And then near the end, you're in complete like schizo break right now. And the old and in the game it's played as in like you're at his work where you have to go and cut fish. for like canning. And so apparent in some parts you would have to do that, but at the end it was 100% controlled in this psychotic state. And at the end, well, you have to find out on your own. Fuck you. Okay. No, what happened is that the brother killed himself because he got so caught up in his delusions that he believed that him dying would sorry, it's a little hits the home. I have some personal relation stuff like this. So I apologize for sounding a little emotional right now. But long story short, the brother ended up killing himself by getting decapitated. Shit, my bad. Okay, so but yeah, long story short, the brother ended up killing himself on a psychotic break. Now, if you excuse me, I'm gonna stand up and get something real quick. I apologize about that, folks. I'm back right now. Oh shit, the fucking Mexican Cyrax is live streaming. I tell him to speak normal, will ya? Let him know. Tell him that I told him to speak normal. So, we will get back to the main topic of the live stream. But if he ever joins the live stream and watches, my only thing that I will tell him is to speak normal. Thank you. Let's get back to this, shall we? As I was saying earlier, that reminded me of a scene back in one of my favorite games, What Remains of Edith Finch. One of the best story games out there, I'll be honest. But that right here, this whole sentence right here, was just like, oh shit, that reminded me of that one part of the game of What Remains of Edith Finch. What does this have to do with Undertale? As it's, quote, what does it have to do with Undertale? Well, maybe nothing, but one of my spiritual experiences some months later triggered by the Undertale main theme, pointed directly back at this experience. It is my belief that some entity decided to use Undertale to try to reach me. There was something in the game, or working through the game. It was reaching me as nothing else had. The unpredictability urge to write? Wasn't that an intoxication? Indication that I had a brush with something. Oh my god, fuck me. It wasn't an indication that I had brushed with something power. Oh my god. Oh my fucking god. This unpredicted urge to write wasn't an oh my fucking god, this stupid word. Addiction, I don't fucking care anymore. I'm butchering it. Fuck it. That I had brushed with something powerful, and that kills sudden awakening within me not much later. I gave a name to this something powerful eventually, dubbing her Manon, or a reference to the film Manon des Sources. Des Sources. I don't know how to fucking say that. What is that? 1986 film. You know what? We're gonna look that up real quick. It's some like French drama film from 1986. But for a long time, I simply called her she, not they. What are you, a fucking? Are you? What are you, anti non-binary? Are you sexist? You called her a she, not a they. Not an it. You called it a she. Fucking sexist. What if it was a he instead? How do you know it was a she and not a they? Kale's awakening experience was, as it turned out, only the start of our collective awakening as a spiritual being. Almost overnight, we went from having no spiritual experiences, no feelings of contact with others or numerous, to have them irregularly. With the others to the numerous, to have them regular. Am I even reading this right? At first, it was necessary for me to prize. Okay. My third eye opened a little wider with psychedelic drugs, but this need diminished with time. During the warning months of 2016, though, I was still relying fairly on whatever fuck this is. It's a synthetic hallucinogenic. So it's not like an actual mushroom, it's a fucking chemical. It basically. Okay, so this basically is just it's a pill, isn't it? Oh no, it's like in fucking foods and shit. God, yeah. Okay, so it's not like actual fucking shrooms and shit. It's fucking it's just fucking chemicals. Good to know. And it was under the influence of that drug I had my first ambiguous communication with Manon. She came to me in music in the Undertale main theme. Some of that story may also be read here, another old live journal post. Oh my god, how fucking long is this? Oh my fucking god. For a long time, I felt that somehow Manon literally inhabited this song, the way that a genius Lucy, genius Lucy, inhabits a particular spring or a grove of trees. I am less certain of this now, and in any case, I commit to no defined interpretations of what Manson is. She is the force that persists within undertale, that I perceive within an undertale, that moves me as nothing else has. The power that makes me want to change myself. Menom gives me determination. Oh my fucking god. You gotta be fucking kidding. This is fucking bullshit. Oh my god, I don't give a fuck. Ah, Jesus. How fucking long is this? Holy shit. That is so fucking. I think the stream is just me reading this at this point. Oh my fucking god. We've been here for over an hour. An hour and a fourth. Just reading this. And it makes me want to fucking. Makes me want to fucking, lose determination in real life. How about that? Like, fuck. I had I had no idea who or what Manon is. For a long time, I gave her no name. How do you know it was a she? Okay, I'll stop fucking doing that. Even if this person's sexist for not knowing. Simply referred to her as she, or in print, she. The angle brackets meant to convey the impression of wings. See, now this is why it would be a good video topic. Because the retardation that I'm reading right now to you guys, seeing my true and honest reaction to all this, should show you how I feel about all this. Oh well. The angle brackets meant to convey the impression of wings, because I connected Manon in my mind with flight and visions of Azrael and Chara together as they should have been, fused out of love and freedom and not out of desperation to try to escape a trap, soaring together around Mount Ebot. Mount Ebot. I still have the image in my mind, although it's shifting and changed. Too. My ex, Kay, did not like this development. One of the many odd things she said during this time when wait, was the shy on purpose? No way, that's on fucking purpose. Shy suddenly became cold towards me and started saying strangely hurtful things. Was that the spirit I perceived in the Undertale music, which Shy claimed perceptions of as well, was a guilt memento. I never understood this comment, but then I've never quite understood much about what Kay said and did upon those last painful weeks. I've wondered about how these spiritual discoveries connected with Undertale, weirdly coinciding with the rapid disintegration. Oh my fucking god. Rapid disintegration of that relationship. I've wondered whether it was really coincidence or not. I know another couple that got into friction because of Undertale, with one partner getting really attached to the game to the point of role playing constantly, and the other feeling slightly repelled. Maybe because maybe something like that happened with Kay. I don't know, honestly. Honestly, I don't know. Honestly, I'm still astonished that how speedily Shy went from fond to chilly. She used to listen with my interest to the UT story ideas, but specifically smacked down the one Shy dumped me. When Shy dumped me. Sigh. I was never writing for K in any sense, but I've gotten to enjoy her support from for my creative projects until suddenly the support wasn't there anymore. Oh my fucking god. Oh my god. Okay. Anyways, Undertale and Manon ended up where Kay and I parted ways. Well, Shy and I still we're still happy together. I regard it here here as a helper and even mentor, and was sharing all of the spiritual experiences with her because I valued her advice about them. She, Shy, was incurred to incurred to my oh my god. She incurred to se- Sebsiasm? Oh my, what the fuck is this? Um, however,
Mysticism.
mysticism. Oh, I'm retarded. Mysticism. I wasn't so. I wasn't so. I was inclined to trust her judgment about my mystical fuck experiences, but her strange guilt elemental talked at a time when all of Kay's behavior towards me was abruptly changed for reasons still mysterious to me. To put an end to that, I had to work out what, if anything, Undertale and Manon meant to me on my own. What was she? All I know is when I played the Undertale theme, as I start playing it now, and the music goes quieter and that piping melody starts, Manon is with me then. I asked her name, she never given me one. Yeah, this is literally just a fucking schizo. I'm telling you that right now. That person's a fucking schizo. Complete fucking schizo. I've asked who she is. She's never told me. In one visit to her, the most gut wrenching by far, she hinted at some tragedy involving some other entity she badly hurt. I robbed them of their wings, was the sense I got from her. It was during this experience that I recall Kai's awakening more vividly. Kay almost made me turn my back on Manon, but that would have been a mistake. She's never guilted me, never shamed me, never made me feel bad if I go weeks without remembering her. Feel bad. I slash feel bad, but Manon never does. She is sincerity and calm water. What? Why? Why am I fucking doing this? We're not even halfway done. I develop a simple ritual to visit Manon, one based on Toby Fox's Undertale music, of course. I get into a open meditative state, lie down, close my eyes and listen. If I'm in a rush, I will simply listen to Undertale, but I get more out of listening to the entire block of Undertale's tracks, starting with the last episode and ending with Undertale. My fanciful my fanciful interpretation is that before visiting Manon, I watch hashtag Menaton put on a stage show. then have a heart-to-heart chat with him backstage before taking the elevator to, well, to see, well, her. Chuckles. Metaton can be very helpful and insightful sometimes. I'll be honest, I've come to look up to Metaton and interact with him as though he were what? As were a Hairtech or Throth or Manon? Who the fuck are these? Fucking Christ. He's been a more interesting demigod or what? So Metaton is a fucking demigod or some shit. Jesus Christ. Most interesting demigod or saint or whatever you like to call him. By genderqueer deity of performance. Visiting Manon has been well. I've had many experiences of her. Some have almost destroyed me emotionally, left me a sobbing wreck. Some have exhilarated me and made me want to laugh. Always there is sadness and a feeling of loss, but there is always hope as well. Does Manon exist? I don't know. I don't know. That should be the whole fucking statement. I don't know. All I know is that nothing has been more powerful a tool to precise open my mind and my awareness that the Undertale theme than the Undertale theme. I perceive something in that music that I choose to honor with my storytelling, my symbol making. I could be analytical about it, or I can choose to kneel in honor to its power and treat it as a friend named Manon. Okay, okay. We are going to look at the fucking song that keeps getting fucking mentioned. Ah, fuck me. Let me go into fucking private session. Yes, the song right here that you're listening to right now is the song that makes this person break down into crying and believes that it has a spiritual connection to a god. By listening to this music, we can all connect to Manon. Okay, that's fucking enough of that. Oh my fucking god. So that's the song that this person fucking sits down to for hours on end and fucking listens to that. Have you guys met Manon yet just by hearing that song? I know I have. And it makes me want to fucking... It makes me want to lose determination. Okay, back to the fucking work. So after all the... Oh my god, this person's trying to sound more smart than they are. Fucking retard. So after all the cataclysmic stuff was more or less settled, I accepted that Manon, as I would eventually name her, was my matron saint or goddess in a way. Credit her for waking Nick. again. Not magic, magic. You gotta say the k, because it ends with a K. After my failed attempts into getting into neo-paganism practice in 1999 to 2001. Do you think his neo-pagan practices caused 9/11? Do you think the fucking Al-Qaeda or whatnot heard about fucking Ernest being a fucking neo-pagan? It was like, ooh, what are we going to do? Oh, I know, we're gonna drive into the Twin fucking Towers and blow it up just so we can ruin Ernest's fucking pagan ritual bullshit. Yeah, that's totally what fucking happened. But I didn't really do much with that information for a while. Everyone in a while when I felt I needed a spiritual change, I'd play Undertale theme under suitable circumstances to evoke her. I'd usually come away with some kind of invaluable insight, and that would be it. God, Jesus Christ. I was starting to refer to myself as getting back into magic. My friendship with Vidya in the wake of the mess with Kay was cruel to my growth here. Medica's Metlier for creative expression is words in conversation, as she did her magic with imagination and roleplay of inhabiting creatures and speaking in voices. As a result, I started to build a rather curious sort of magical practice. A virtual practice in the form of roleplay that turned out to suit me very well. Magic RP made sense in my head more than moving cups and wands and atoms around it. Oh my god. Back when I was futzing with what? Wicca? Wissa? Wissa. Okay, Wissa. Yeah, this is. I know this is getting boring for you guys, having to sit here and fucking listen to my retard bullshit. I began to express my information reveal of Manon, who I was still calling she at the time, and magical RP with the blessings of Vidila and her friend Hazel. I set up on their Discord server a virtual altar to the guiding spirit of Undertale. By this time, I also had to become resolved. I had to become to resolve myself into multiple personas, and regarded myself as a duo. Dragonkin Kel was my main personality, and my old friend persona motherfucker, and my old equine, I guess how you say that. I don't fucking know. I don't care at this point. Persona Mono sprang back into renewed life as Kel's butler. We were rather taken with what the I've got to look. What the fuck is this? The Black Butler, a popular dark fantasy manga created by some random person that takes place in Victoria, England, about a young earl who makes a demonic pact with his butler for revenge with his soul as payment. Sounds like a shit fucking anime. To confess, cough. Creating the virtual template was Mona's initiative. Jesus. Been staring at the screen for so fucking long. I close my eyes and I just see the fucking Max Headroom fucking background. Jesus. That side of us who now lives on in Mona Clark, but back then was assigned male Mono, was getting impatient with how slapdash and unregularized our spiritual practice was. Mona was and Mono is, among other things, a keen student of classical antiquity, an ex-Catholic, and a horse. Vosh is probably jacking off to this right now. All of these influence him strongly towards duty. Sure, getting a spiritual charge here and there is useful, but Mono believed that we can use my reverence for Manon as some sort of engine, a motivator for practical tasks. Do it for her, as Mona's advice. Oh my god, we're halfway done. We've been sitting here for over a fucking hour. This is just fucking babbling. This is, fuck me. So back in March, at the end of a long spring break, with my polycule Darcia and Gravis, basically on the spring equinox, might have been a day later. I don't give. Oh my fucking god, doesn't matter. I visited Manon, and she agreed that she'd help me out. Nothing fancy. She'd keep nudging me now and then in the right direction in exchange for some regular observance. Nothing fancy. And for bonus points, not required homework, some Undertale fan writing. Ah yes, good to know your deity wants you to write Undertale fan art when you called your first fucking art, your first fucking, when you cut, oh my fucking god, this still fucking, she has a fucking, she has a fucking, she has a written piece of literature called Crouching Torio Hidden Cougar. What's Sorry about that, guys. My father is injured, so I have to help him out with stuff. Where the fuck were we? Scrolled up too much. Fuck. Where were we? Okay, yeah, I found where we were. I think I did at least. Fuck. Alright. Apologize, but guys, I know that stream is dead for a while. I'll cut that out in editing. I apologize about that. I will have to leave again shortly to help him again, but not for right now. So back in March, at the end of a long spring break with my polycule Darla and Gravis. Bro, I'm the only one left in chat. Yeah, rip. Sorry about that, man. I apologize. Yeah, as I said, my dad's injured, so I had to help him out with stuff. Basically, on the spring equinox, might have been a day later, I visited my non. She agreed to help me out. Nothing fancy. Should just keep. No, oh, we already fucking some. Okay, we already. Some Undertale fan writing. It's oh wow. Yeah, this is where we left off. I was talking about the fucking Undertale fan art and how he literally has a fucking literature about fucking Torio, which was probably fucking sexual. Definitely was sexual. Alright. It seemed like a good idea, so I began doing semi-regular shifts at Oda, Odra and Hazel's Discord server, my virtual ritual stage. At first, I imagined her as a sort of wind goddess in the virtual engine that converted the power she gave me into concrete. From that, I choose with the windmill. Was the windmill? The stronger I felt her influence, the stronger the winds in my imagination. I may have been influenced by the wind monarch in Carmen Rider W, one of our favorite shows. You gotta be fucking kidding. What is this? We'll look this up. It's probably some anime bullshit. Is it anime bullshit? Yeah, I would say so, yes. Um, look at the images. It looks like it's, they have anime, yeah. Okay, yeah, this looks like a Power Rangers-esque thing. So, yeah. It's one of his favorite shows, one of the utmost in our mind during this time because we were adopting a dual persona. But also, I was thinking back to Kel's awakening experience, which ended with the perception of flight. After the trans awakening, though, we associated Manon with water and associated her influence with the water bubbling up out of a spring, the cool water welling up from the earth through holes in a stone hewn in the shape of the Delta rune. You gotta be fucking. Oh my god. Not a. Oh god. Alright, fucking Christ. Oh my god. Okay, yeah, sorry, message in my server. If you guys want to join, it's in link in my account. My account bio. I've not got much to go. What? I've not got that much to go. I don't think talked about the experiences of my first playthrough, some of the impressions and interpretations about the main characters arising from playing the game, and talked a bit about the specific specific fuck specific spiritual experiences with Manon that has arisen from this, and how that ended up spurring me back towards active practice of what I call magic. What I haven't talked about yet is how Undertale helped me come out of the trans closet. You gotta be. Gee, fuck. It was a subtle thing at first. Up until pretty recently, I was happy being cis male. That is to say, happy being a regular dude. It was a role that seemed to fit me best, and I've gotten moderately comfortable with it. No other role seemed imaginable anyway. There were hints of discomfort, like I feel both my major sex partners, Dara and long lost Kay, had urged me to be dominant and toppy in a way I never felt quite right with. Oh my fucking god. I attribute this to bad upbringing and lack of practice at the time. And it came out in feeling like I was being predicted, fucking cry, oh my god, predicted to perform in a certain way. I started to do little things like play women characters in video games. More experienced, more experienced trans women will be nodding their heads. And when I began writing Undertale fiction, I gravitated towards focusing stories on the women in the game. My first big story that ended up going unfinished, but I'll get back too soon, was a story about Undying and Alphys. Then I poured great effort, more than I've put into anything I've so far written, into trying to get into the character of Toriel. If curious, read Crouching Tiger, Hidden Cougar, cited above. Is that the kind of fiction that Manon wants you to write? Is it? I don't think so. I could be wrong. It could be like a fucking Satan telling you to do this. I don't fucking know. I talked a while back about how I remained a little distant from Toriel when I first played Undertale. I liked her. Who couldn't? She was still a slightly distant figure. Later, I figured that was because I had deeply ambivalent fuck feelings about my own mother. Great mommy issues, whom I ended up distancing myself from, and that ended up affecting my attitude towards the eerily similar Toriel. But as I started to write Crouching Toriel, Hidden Cougar, I started finding myself warming to Toriel in quite a different way, and sympathizing deeply with her struggle to build a new life after all her trauma. I found myself focusing on Torio's deep feelings of guilt for having so badly mishandled herself after Azrael and Kara's death, imagining herself as the one who believed she no longer deserved happiness, who deserved instead to die in the ruins alone, forgotten by everyone. I imagine her gradually remembering that she was a person capable of enjoying things, enjoy being with others, enjoying taking care of a child, enjoying the company of someone she was attracted to. I didn't quite know it, but it was writing me into Toriel. She was my first model of who I wanted to be as a woman. Welcome back, Kitten Rambo. Yeah, based. We've been here for 2 hours, and most of the time we were reading this shit. I found myself focusing on Toriel's deep feelings of guilt for having so badly mishandled herself after Azrael and Charles. I already read this, motherfucker. Oh, this is gonna get great. With Char Dreamer, though, things got interesting. Great. Char gets the pronoun they in Undertale. While this most neutral of pronouns make the most sense for a character who is seen in a sense as fuck. And while this most neutral of pronouns make the most sense for a character who is in some sense a placeholder for the unspecific player, I've definitely been on the side of those writers who took they literally, made Chara and Frisk into non-binary characters in their writing and art. Some other fans have seen fit to assign genders to Chara, and that it usually sit poor with me, but considering my own journey, partly through Chara's perspective, now I have to wonder. Never played Undertale, never will either. I played for like an hour or two, and I just got bored of it. I was like, why am I doing this? This is like, what the fuck? What am I doing? And in the fact, I'm fine, enjoy this. I don't give a fuck. But Chara Dreamer is meant to be a fucking child. Same as Azrael Dreamer and Frisk. So yeah. That should tell you, I don't know if Toby Fox supports trans kids or some shit. I don't care if he does or doesn't. I just find it funny that the fucking trans community decided to make one of the bigger speaking points of their community to be a child. I thought that was interesting. I started to imagine what it would be like for Chara to have been non binary at the time when I imagined them first growing up. I vaguely put Chara's childhood with their human parents at different times in my head because eventually conquered on on the 30s, because that was about the last time in American history I could imagine a dramatic event like Israel and Charma swooping down on a human town happening. But not be, but not be remembered as more than anything than a damn assorted legend, as opposed to say color photographs in a dozen magazines. In the 30s, at any rate, Char would have no doubt language to convoy. I do not consider myself a boy or a girl. Great. What would it be like for Chara suddenly to be in a world where gender expression and language far richer and more complicated? Would that cause them to start rethinking just who they were? I feel like Chara's non-binary day would have been a placeholder for them, something that day reached for because there was no other pronoun available other than the deeply impersonal it. So I found myself imagining what it would be like for Chara, with Azrael and Frisk's help, to start trying on different gender identities and pronouns for the first time. Just so you know, Chara, Frisk, and Israel are kids. I want to drill this in your fucking brain. She's thinking about this. Fucking Ernest is thinking about this as a fucking 44-year-old man. Thinking of like fucking. I think. How old is. Let me look this up real quick. Give me 1 second. So, canonic age of the game, he was around 8 to 12 years old, and the other characters were around the same age as that. So yeah, they're around from like 8 to 12 years old, these characters. So yeah, keep that in mind when you read this, is that fucking Azrael, Frisk, and Chara are around 8 to 12 years old. I got more interested in trying to imagine what it would be like for Chara because I wanted story ideas, I told myself. So I conceived the idea of inhabiting the character for roleplay. Again, just because I wanted story ideas. I told myself. I set up a Tumblr account for my Chara. Churro. that went follow that would follow after a few weeks, and a Discord account as well. I understand. Can't finish that on YouTube, but yes, I agree. So myself, well, in a Discord account as well. I introduced myself as Chara on the Minis Divia and Divia and Ansel's Discord server, and for a while did nothing much more with them until great, like not even a third done, not a third. We have more than a third left. Thank God. I mentioned earlier in this narrative that I've come during this time to regard myself as a duality. There was a dragon Kel and the horse Mono. Notice who's missing from this? Me. The human. I had these furry slash dragon personalities, but the human aspect of me seemed to disappear from the picture. I tried to include them. For a while, I referred to my human side as Gabriel, using my saint's name from when I went adult conversion to Catholicism many years ago. But Gabriel kept disappearing. Cal and Mono were more active and lively, but Gabriel was a cipher. Without quite knowing it, this was bothering me. I was calling myself Dragonkin then, partly because of the vanished K's lingering influence. Kel was Kel was fully cop to have been modeling Xur's self after K, at least at first. But also because it seemed like the best way to explain having that vision about swimming and flapping around. But also ingrained part of the cultural education that I've gotten, partially through Mona's classics love of classics and partly through my mother's social and political awareness. For me to remember always that I was human, with human strengths and weaknesses. I couldn't write that off and pretend it was irrelevant. It's always a key feature with my Quet personality, since the earliest days that they were Professor Monophius, Foclos, and not Mona Clark. To be a horse who did not know how to be a horse, instead strove to be the best human they could be. So right from right from the start of my interest into the furry subculture, I was trying to keep some sort of acknowledgement of humanity in my identity. End of style. To get back to the point I was making, the duality model of identity I've been working with. Curious little dragon Kel paired with intellectual powerhouse Mono seemed like more or less covered with everything about myself that was important. But as I was starting to become dimly aware of a void in the model, there were parts of myself that I couldn't wish away. The awkward, uncomfortable, two human bits and two human memories neither Kel nor Mono wanted. When interact as Kel plus Mono, I would sometimes be at a loss, unable to speak as either, until Chara. As I mentioned yesterday, I think it was, I mentioned that I created a couple social media accounts for the character of Chara Dreamer, as I was hoping to write them in some future short stories. The idea that it inhabitates Chara and interacting as Chara would help prompt story ideas and insight. This really hasn't gone anywhere. The accounts languished unused. Suddenly, though, there seemed to be a reason to log into as Chara Dreamer. I needed their voice to speak for me when my other voices couldn't speak. I needed them to say the awkward human shit that Kel and Mono didn't want to deal with. Yes, getting a fucking 12-year-old to speak for you. Isn't that great? Sounds like shit the fucking trans community is doing anyway, so. This exchange between me and Chara gives me something of the flavor. Fuck. This exchange between me and Chara gives something of the flavor of these moments when it seemed that only Chara Dreamer's voice was the right one. Always it would happen when I'd be logged on as both Kel and Mono, staring erosity. First at one chat window, then the other. I'd lost for words, then impulsively I'd switch to Chara Dreamer's account, and then give me a kick in the pants, a reminder of the unpleasant, harsh, but welcome intervention. I slowly began to realize I was no duality at all. I was a trinity, but a trinity. God fucking damn it. A Kel, Mono, and weirdly Chara. Great. God fucking damn it. Suddenly I began to realize I was no duality at all. Oh my god, I fucking read that. Some while before all this, Vidya told me about her idea of people having a wild child. Ugh. Don't like the sound of that from people like Ernest or Valida. Vidya. Valia. I don't know how to say her fucking name. Point is that it's a little alarming seeing wild child and fucking Videla and like Hazel and shit like that. Last time we saw fucking Hazel on this channel was that red gendered person, and they were like pretending to be a fucking lesbian while being a dude with a fucking grown beard. So yeah, that was fun. Imagine a street urchin who had a harsh life and has responded by retreating into anything to survive. Anything to survive mode, hiding and stealing and mistrusting people around them. Kel was sort of a inner child, but Z wanted to embody something different. Kel wanted to be forever playful, curious, open to everything. Their undertale alignment is definitely Frisk. But where did my feelings go then? Who got to express them? Chara Dreamer seemed a logical model for me. They were a wild child too. Every Frisk needs a Chara. Let me get this fucking end. Holy shit. I decided to recognize this strange arrangement in a semi-formal sense with the fanciful expression that after being brought back to life, Char Dreamer was now in need of a job, so I decided to hire them as my ambassador to the humans, i.e. the human voice of the dragon and the horse. I had some ulterior motives in that I wanted to be a bit freer with blunt talk in political discussions, that I felt like I could be with more, that I could be than I felt I could be with Kel or even Mono. And Chara could be my attack human if I wanted. I promised I'd repay Chara with Undertale fanfics telling her their story. A promise I yet to make a good one. All these dominoes were in place now. I don't remember exactly what stimulus finally tipped them all over, what exactly the train of thought led to this grand epiphany, but it was quite fittingly, fuck. Fuck. Someone triggered by the replay Undertale back in May, under the cover of merely trying to get into the head of Chara Dreamer and think like them because I wanted to portray them effectively in prose. I was smuggling uncertainty and questions of my own gender identity in my consciousness. I began to give Chara some of my own dreams. I remember as a child wanting to knit like my mom did. So my Chara began to knit. I started to imagine Chara Dreamer as someone with deeply entrenched dysphoria, someone uncomfortable in their own skin. One reason they ended up at feeling more at home with the monsters than with humanity. And let's just say I found a curiously easy to imagine feeling that way. One of my own childhood was starting to recur to me as a deflective of these things. I never really liked my own body much either, now that I was thinking about it. My mom and dad kind of sucked, but they never tried to make me feel bad about how I looked. But I felt bad anyways. I thought I looked terrible on photographs, and when I was old enough to have some agency in the matter, I began to hide when it's the time for class photos and the like. I didn't like to go more than was necessary, and hated summers because they meant wearing less clothes. And I thought my legs, in particular, were ugly. Oh no, is this person gonna cut off their legs? Please don't cut off your fucking legs. Dear God, we don't need another fucking Jerry Spring episode with the fucking circular blade. Let me see if I can find that real quick. Here we go. Ernest, please don't do this.
The story on today's show could be the most bizarre story we've done in our 15-year history. This is really crazy. My guest began wearing women's clothing at age 12.
Oh no, it's fucking
and became
Ernest.
a transsexual at age 35. But that's not the unusual part of this story. No, this transsexual also decided at the age of 14 that she didn't want her legs. So 1 year ago, she took a saw. Why don't you hand me that? Here, hold this. Oh boy, okay. All right. From now on, who doesn't think I'm funny? All right. So 1 year ago, she took a saw just like this. And she cut off, this is true. Stop it. She cut off her own legs. Let's meet her. Here's Sandra.
What if I watched it on TV? I know, I wish I saw this on TV.
Sandra, Sandra, what? Okay, what's going on? This is strange, isn't it?
Yes, it is strange.
Okay, so how old are you now?
I'm 48.
Now you're 48. When you were 35, you decided to become a woman.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's fine. At what age did you think you didn't want your legs?
At 14.
At 14. When did you actually cut them off?
I cut this one off in 2000.
I thought that one went first, yeah. Okay, why did you cut your leg off?
I didn't want them. My brain just kept saying get rid of them, so I had to get rid of them.
When you became a woman, did your brain say get rid of something else?
Yeah, but I couldn't cut that off.
What kind of things have you done to get your legs?
I've injected my knee with my feces, 120 cc's under my kneecap, just liquefy it and pump it in. I've cut myself with razor blades. I've drove nails in the bone. My brain would just say get a 16-penny nail and a hammer and drive it in the bone, and I just drive it in the bone. I built the guillotine and dropped it on my leg. That didn't work. So, I was like, go back to the drawing board. I got to figure out something else. I cut the circulation off up here above the knee with radiator hose clamps that you put on the automobile.
Yeah.
And then down here, I used like a pantyhose with like a noose on it and make it real tight. And then I just got my saw and got everything in the kitchen, got everything ready that I needed. And got up on the counter and I waited till the leg went numb and turned purple. And I got the saw and I put it on my leg and I powered it up. And then I shut it off, laid it on the counter, and I looked at the saw and looked at my leg and said, well, it's now or never. And I grabbed the saw and put it on my leg and
Were you
powered
screaming?
it up.
Were you drinking?
No.
A little bit.
Never did pass out. Never did pass out afterwards.
You didn't pass
out? It was calm and cool. My friends got there. They was all hysterical. Oh, you gonna die? I'm like, shut up and go call the ambulance, would you?
Why did you decide after you did one?
Because I hadn't wanted both of them, neither one of them since I was 14. So, I couldn't tell somebody I didn't want both of them. I just said I didn't want one. I figured they'd really think I was nuts. I didn't want both of them.
Now they think you're... Oh, no. If you... No, there's no way they think you're nuts to cut off one leg. Now, one's a little longer than the other.
I wanted them the same length, but they didn't. The doctors don't listen, so,
Now, are you finished, or are we going to lose other limbs?
No, I'm finished.
What if your brain one morning says, you know what, I'm so tired of this arm?
I'm an artist. I need my arms.
Oh, you're an artist.
Okay, that's enough, Jerry Springer. You get the fucking point. Ernest, please don't do that. Then one night, I remembered suddenly I'd been horrified as a young adolescent where I started developing a beard. I couldn't believe what was happening to my face, and I was ashamed of it. I nicked a couple of my dad's disposable blades and tried to shave myself with predictable results. How had I forgotten that little incident? The dominoes were all tumbling now. Just why was I getting so deeply invested in fictional in a fictional person who was questioning their gender assignment? Well, I already had written Kara as a AMAB and given them so many of my own traits, my own memories even, in my head. Why haven't I gotten invested in imagining myself as Toriel? Why had I played female characters in games? Why were my closest friends, all people that I admired and wanted to be the most, all trans women? Why had I hate myself for so long? Why did I always want to hide myself? Why, without any defiance cause for it, did I recall my childhood as miserable? All these things cascade through my mind on the night of 16. Oh fuck no! On the night of 15th of May 2017, where I was playing Undertale and had to stagger to my bed with overwhelmed with emotion, and a floor of memories and associations washed over me. I found myself saying out aloud, as if the words were coming out of their own accord, I am a woman. You're wrong. I announced this the next evening in my polycule and my friends, naming myself in honor of the fictional person who supplied me with their voice for a time until I found my own. That's why I'm called Kara Dreamer. Well, that's why. That's what. That was a long story, so I hope it wasn't too dull. Kara Dreamer, 19th of July, 2017. I hope this wasn't too dull. This has been the worst fucking piece of artwork I have read in my entire life. Uh, but Wes Moore's book is probably 10 times worse than this, okay? I fucking hate Wes Moore's book so goddamn much. So, yeah, we just... And there's only one fucking comment. Oh my god. Okay, Diamond456 said, I read it all. That is my opinion. It is amazing. I don't know any transgender people IRL and never really understood why people would want to change. But reading this now, I get it. I believe you made the right choice. You did what made you more happy, which is something many people nowadays frown upon because they think it's weird and don't get it. I admire you, actually. Thank you for taking the time to write this. Must have taken a lot of bravery to say that here on the internet. Admire that. Welcome to my personal hall of heroes. This is the face of a true hero, guys. This is a face of a true hero. Fuck. Well, we already fucking read it, so we don't need fucking... We don't need to read this. Well, that's why I'm calling card. Yeah, we already read this, and yeah, KiwiFarms, yeah, fuck you, Ernest. Fuck you. I hope this wasn't too dull. There's only one book worse than this. Out of all written media, this is the second worst thing I've ever read in my life. And number one is Wes Moore's book. Actually, no. Westmore's book was pretty bad. Okay, this is the third worst thing I've read. Westmore's book was probably the second. Yeah, probably second. And my first worst book. What was that fucking rip-off Jimmy Kennel retard? Fucking. I can't find it. What the fuck? Oh. Wow, I can't believe this dude is so. Trevor Noah. Trevor Noah's book was bad. I can't believe I forgot his name. That's how forgettable this fucker is. So, this is the third worst. Westmore was the second. And Noah Trevor is the worst fucking book. Alright. Everything else I'm gonna leave to you guys' imagination. I can't tonight. I fucking can't. That that fucking that fucking thing. Oh my fucking god. That's a fucking I can't. Ernest, I hope your determination dies. And I wish you join your brother and no wait, you won't be able to join your brother. I hope you I hope the clock runs out for you soon. If not, time you out by now. Too late to have a midlife crisis. Dude, your fucking midlife crisis hit and you turn out to be a tranny. Fucking, that is sad. This is really sad. Fucking turning trans because you fucking, because you played fucking Undertale? What the fuck? I can't. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm getting the fuck out of here. And I'm gonna go fucking break. I'm gonna break fucking fast at this point. Sorry, Jesus. I know I'm not supposed to end Lent. But I'd rather break the Lent and then research this fucker any longer. So I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.